welcome to Chat Chow TV, a weekly online TV show featuring the city's top food personalities. Today we're at Frankston Dawgs here in Chicago's Lincoln Park neighborhood to speak with owner Alexander Brunacci and chef Steve Smith and learn a little bit more about their backgrounds. Okay, so Alex, thank you for taking the time to speak with us this morning before your busy day starts. Could you tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to be in the restaurant industry?
Sure. Background, grew up in Australia, but of Italian heritage, and so earliest memories revolve around food. My grandparents, my parents pretty much made everything from scratch. They grew their own vegetables. Every year we would make our own sausages, our own charcuterie. So it was just something, and all the kids, all the grandkids had to be involved. My grandmother would cook lunch for everybody, for the entire family every Sunday. So it was probably around about 40 to 50 people. And it didn't matter whether it was pizza, bread, pasta, everything was made by hand from scratch. And so that was kind of like the indelible mark that was left in me, was about, not so much just about food, but also about the proper care and passion that goes into making food. So we really take two approaches. We either take some really high-end ingredients like truffles or foie gras, and we incorporate that into our sandwiches, or we take classic street food and we elevate that to fine dining as well. So there's a number of different types of ways that we go about trying to recreate that fine dining experience for our dining public.
So, being that, those Chicago hot dogs are kind of a dime a dozen, and people who come here truly, I think, appreciate the creative spin that you're putting on these gourmet sausages. What do you think are a few of the customer favorites?
Ooh, for sure, I would have to say the brunch dog, the Frankenstein, the turducken. The lobster roll is one that's, we only have it on the weekends because we basically get freshly flown in lobsters, Maine lobsters, and so we have them only for that short period of time. But that's very popular on the weekends. Another favorite is the Lamborghini. And then also, I would say the crazy kimchi. They tend to be our best sellers. Okay, so going back to the side dishes on your menu, do you build those out to match with specific gourmet sausages that you have, or how do you build those flavor profiles? Actually, with the sides, we've taken the same approach with the rest of the items that are on our menu, and that is that they're just things that, again, we individually we've loved, or inspiration from other dishes. But it has nothing to do with trying to match anything with anything.
Okay.
It really is just about trying to come up with a really well executed, really well thought out, really creative idea. So, and we've taken some classic things like cheese curds. Well, cheese curds are so-so. But with our cheese curds, we use panko breadcrumbs. Okay. There's an herb mix in there as well. So we're really trying to showcase that, hey, look, because most people's experience with cheese curds is that they're made in a factory, they're frozen, and then people take them out and deep fry them, and the flavor profile is the same. Yeah. So really for us, it's all about trying to make sure that whatever it is that we do, that it's made from scratch, and that way we show what could be done with something when it's done really, really well.
So what's your favorite?
My favorite personally on the menu board right now is probably the Lamborghini.
Okay, and what's in that?
That's an Italian barese sausage, and it's lamb meat that we're using to make this barese, and so the spices that are in that are really fantastic. What about your staff? What would you say their favorite is? Well, let's go and ask them.
All right, well, I'm going to speak with your chef, Steve Smith,
yes,
and see kind of his inspirations in the kitchen and also check out what his favorites are.
Perfect, let's go.
Okay, so Chef Steve Smith, what would you say are your favorite items on the menu?
Definitely the brunch dog. That was the first iron dog that we had, and it's very simple, but the flavors are so profound that you can't really beat it. It's a pork sausage that has caramelized onions in it, and we top it with a corncob smoked bacon, fried egg, and a maple mayonnaise.
Oh wow. I think anything topped with fried egg is pretty delicious.
And
too.
bacon. Anything
Yeah.
with bacon and pork
Very
is
true.
definitely worth eating.
Yeah. So we're gonna make today the pork sausage that goes on that brunch dog, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So can you walk us through that process and
Sure.
kind of the ingredients behind it?
We use boneless pork butt that we get from White Marble Farms.
Okay.
We kind of clean it up a little bit, take out some of the tendons, even though we send it through the grinder. We just don't want to have the extra sinew and things like that in there. We also add a little bit of fatback, which is pork fat, to kind of help with the mouthfeel and the texture, and season it with just a little bit of salt, pepper, some fresh parsley just for some garnish and for some herbaceousness to it. Mix it with some caramelized onions just to give the sausage a little bit more sweetness, and send it through the grinder.
Okay, so it's pretty simple, but really quality ingredients going
Yes,
into it.
definitely. We put a lot of thought into the sausages so that everyone can get the best possible outcome and just enjoy themselves here. We definitely, I'm sure you said, we try to bring the fine dining and aspect into the street food level.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a lot more fun, and it makes it more accessible to the average person. Because I mean, spending $200 to $300 a person for a dinner in one night is definitely not something that many people can do on a consistent basis. I mean, we have people we have guests that come in 2-3 times a week, and they love it here because it's accessible. It's not like for the elitists, you know.
Yeah.
It's not something that separates people. Everyone can come here. So
Absolutely. And so you have ingredients like truffles and foie gras on the menu.
Yes,
That makes
yes,
it really,
we do.
the price point is accessible for most customers, right?
Exactly. You can't really go and spend $10.50 to $13
Right.
and have a quattro shown on what you're eating. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the grinder going for it.
So does this pork sausage go in any of the other dogs here?
Yes, we also use it for the Southerner. The Southerner is the pork sausage that I'm making right now, and that gets topped with our house-made cornbread, as well as cherry bourbon barbecue sauce and some fresh scallions.
Okay. So do you make these fresh every day, or how often?
I make sausages every day. Usually we only keep the sausages for a day and a half to 2 days
Oh, wow.
max. Everything is fresh. We don't use any preservatives, nitrates, anything like that. And that's one of the things that I like about this place. It's not like we do things, throw them in the freezer, or keep them for a week, weeks on end. So everything here is fresh. We take a lot of pride in the things that we do here. So
We're all done.
this is our pork sausage.
All right, so thank you so much, Alexander, for having us
You're
in
welcome.
Franks and Dawgs here, and to meet your chef, Chef Steve Smith, as well, and
Perfect.
taking a few shots in the kitchen as well. So for everybody else, if you haven't been to Franks and Dawgs, it's at 1863 North Clybourne. Be sure to come and visit Alexander and come and check out their exciting menu here.